Hello, and welcome to the Guilbault Girls Show, where you will have the opportunity to hear from mothers, fathers, siblings, and individuals themselves about their journey of living with a disability. I know, it's called Guilbault Girls, but we have a bonus for you as we get the Guilbault boys to interview some of the dads and siblings and get their perspectives too. We'll also have special guests from time to time to share the many resources that are available to those living with a disability and their families. So get ready to laugh, smile, cry, maybe even get a little angry when you hear some of these stories of their day-to-day struggles. But let's not forget their many triumphs. As they say, it takes a village. And if it weren't for our village, we wouldn't be where we are today. So join us. Hello, and welcome back to the Guilbault Girls Show. Today, we have my son, JD Guilbault. How are you, boy?
Doing good.
Yeah. So, JD, where are you at right now? Tell the folks.
I am currently stationed at Fort Carson in Colorado.
Yep, in the Army. And we were so grateful and happy that he was able to be back home with us for Christmas. So, and we're looking forward to when he can come home again. So, let's kind of jump right in. Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself, how old you are, and just any fun facts that you'd like to share?
Well, like you said, my name's JD. I'm 22 years old, currently serving in the United States Army. I played a little bit of lacrosse in college until I dropped out and joined the Army.
And he did, might I add, he did very well. And I'm so proud of him. Tell them all of your awesomeness about lacrosse when you were at GCU and how you got interviewed and all that good stuff.
I ended up getting Under Armour Division I Player of the Week and SLC Player of the Game. That was in 2018?
Mind you, he was a freshman. Mm-hmm. Yep. You did really good with that. All right, so go ahead. What kind of things did you do growing up? He did a lot with his daddy.
Yeah, I did a lot of hunting, fishing, outdoor stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of archery.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about your sister and her disability?
Obviously, my sister's Faith, and she has cerebral palsy, epilepsy, and cortical vision impairment. She's played sled hockey. She loves therapeutic horse ride. Try to get her involved as much as I can when I'm home, especially with my girlfriend, because she loves hanging out with my girlfriend, Jordan.
Mm-hmm. She loves her time with you guys. At what age, all right, so let's kind of start from the beginning. So you were 4 years old when I had her, and I remember being on bed rest in the hospital for 42 days in the hospital. And I remember you coming in and Grammy and Daddy bringing you in, and you guys would be in your, Superman, no, not your Superman, your Spider-Man outfit.
It wasn't Buzz Lightyear?
No, it wasn't Buzz Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear was like when you were like 2 and 3. When you were 4, you were all about Spider-Man. Because when you had pink eye the one time and you wouldn't take your eye drops, and we had to tell you that if you wanted to have Spidey vision. Yep. Yeah, so Spider-Man was your jam, man. And I remember him coming in. I have pictures of you sitting on the bed with me with that. So when you were 4 years old, of course, I was gone. That was a long time that I was gone away from you. And prior to that, just kind of to go over your history, when we decided we wanted to have kids and I got pregnant with JD, I had him at 28 weeks. He was 2.5 pounds. I was standing in the bathroom brushing my teeth, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, I just went to the bathroom. What's going on here? And I screamed for Jesse, and he came in, called my mom. Needless to say, went to the hospital. I was on bed rest in Trendelenburg for 5 days. My water had broken. And he was in the NICU just under 2 months. He had a lot of bradyas and cardias. And that's where his heart would either stop for like 20 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, or his heart rate would drop below 70. So he had to wear a heart monitor. So we went through a lot before we decided that, we wanted to have another child. Because they always say every pregnancy is different. So when I was on bed rest, when he was 18 months old, he was diagnosed with a mild form of CP. He didn't start walking till he was about 18 months old. So, and he went to occupational therapy and physical therapy, and they pretty much had us, he didn't have to wear AFO braces on his feet, but he had to do a lot of exercises because his calves were so tight. So when I was in the hospital, Jesse decided to go ahead and take him to BMX, to the track, because my husband raced BMX for a long time, and they reopened up a track. So he took him. And I think, how old were you when you started riding your bike? I think it was like 3.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And then, so he was out there on the track. So 2 things happened during that time. One, it was great for his self-esteem, and it was great for his stretching his muscles and exercising. And 2, it was really that building that bond. He always had a close bond with Jesse, but this just took it to like a whole nother level, if you will. So, and plus my mother was with us too. So between my mother and Jesse, he had it made. I was in the hospital, and when he was 5 years old, you won, what were you, the first in the nation?
Third
in the nation for 5 and under. 5 and under. Mm-hmm. So where I was going with this was, he was 4 years old when I had Faith. What made you realize, and do you have a time that stuck out in your head when you realized that Faith had a disability?
One of the things that stuck out the most to me is when she had her first big surgery with the calf lengthening when we were on the farm.
Okay, so she was.
So I remember the braces, the pink braces.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I kind of remember the doctor's visits. I'd go play with the train sets and stuff, but it never really clicked why we were there until I'd say we got to the farm.
Yeah. So we lived in Delaware when we moved to Maryland. Faith was 2.5 years old, and JD was just, I guess, 5. No.
5, 6, somewhere around there.
Yeah, because you were in kindergarten.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, and she was always crawling around, so you wouldn't really know any different. And then when we moved to the farm, and then that's when the therapists were actually coming to the house. And prior to that, she had to go to Easter Seals 3 days a week, and then that's where you too, JD, had went for your occupational therapy and worked on your handwriting. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You remember that? And then when we moved to the farm, then the therapist actually came to our house. All right. So what was it like growing up having a sister with a disability?
Honestly, I don't really know anything else. So to me, it was normal. I know we always had to have extra a lot of time for things. If we were going somewhere, we'd always have to get ready extra early. Obviously we always had the walker or the wheelchair coming with us. There was always extra things we had to bring. There was certain things we couldn't do, places we couldn't go, depending on how accessible they were.
I think a lot of times
it really wasn't that different for me.
And I think for me, where I felt some guilt was when there were certain places we didn't want to go to bring her because we didn't want her to feel left out, but yet it wasn't fair for you because then you would kind of miss out on an opportunity to have fun. We didn't do that too often because I have to say, no matter where we went, we just made it work.
Yeah.
We made it work. I remember when Faith was going to Natalie's birthday party and we all went, and it was at some gymnastics place, and everybody would pick her up and help her do things. And, when she was hanging on to the, I don't know, there was a zip line thing you guys did. I have pictures of you guys all online, and, we just picked her up and put her on there and away she went. But I have to say, growing up in that atmosphere, in the community, and the people that we had around us were wonderful. What did you, do you ever feel like you were left out or that you always came last?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that I was left out or came last. I feel like I definitely had like a closer relationship with grandma and dad growing up, because a lot of times, like, you know, Faith was glued to your hip. So there was definitely things like I think you and I missed out on throughout childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, we would try to go out and get lunch, or we'd try to go and do something every once in a while, but it was always like so hard to plan around everything because we had such busy schedules between doctors and other things and sports and all that. So I wouldn't like, and you would always, you'd come and support my games if you could, if there was time to, or like you tried your best to like show up and be there.
Mm-hmm. And I think now I'm going to cry, and I'm not going to cry. One of the things that always gutted me was I remember just always being so tired by the end of the day. And I remember you sitting in bed and you'd be like, Mommy, come lay with me. Come lay with me. And I would go and I would hug you and I would like be there literally for 2 seconds. I'm like, all right, buddy, I have to do this and I have to do that. And you're like, no, stay. And I didn't. And like sitting here thinking like about that kills me, because I kind of wish that I did. But then I always think, okay, well then I would have fell asleep and then I wouldn't have gotten all the other stuff done that needed to get done for you in the morning to get up and, you know, whether it was lunches or getting laundry done or, you know, cleaning this, cleaning that, or just getting the stuff ready and prepped for the next day, you know. I think that is the one biggest thing that kills me, is I wish that I would have taken that time and just laid in bed with you and fell asleep. Because I was always tired and I was always running, and your father always helps when he could. You know, he changed diapers, he gave showers, he fed, you know, he did all of that. You know, I think the biggest thing growing up was, you know, and this could be, you know, advice to anybody else, is to help your mom out a little bit more with the picking up and the cleaning up, just because men, how do they say it? Like men are men, like they put blinders on to certain things, where women are like, oh, this has got to be cleaner, that's got to be cleaner, that's got to be put away, you know. But just pick up and do those little extra things, because that's extra time and relief that the mother has to be like, one less thing done. So what can I do? I can spend that with my kid. Not saying, oh my gosh, JD, you should have done this and this, and that's why I didn't spend time with you. Don't ever think that. But I'm just telling anybody who's listening that, you know, just kind of help out wherever and whenever you can, just to kind of have that, so that way you have, if you all chip in and do stuff together and get it done, it's twice as quick, you know, to get it done, so that way you have that extra time to really spend together as a family. There were a lot of times where it was always Faith and I, and you and Dad, and it was always like the girls against the guys kind of thing. It felt like, you know, but it wasn't anything bad. It wasn't anything, it was just our life. We did things together a lot, and then Daddy would do stuff with you, I would do stuff with Faith. And that's just kind of how it worked. And then there was times where I was with you and he was with Faith.
Like sled hockey and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and we would go to all your football games and your track meet. We went and when you did the 4-H for the archery, and then was it skeet shooting you were doing, or what were you doing?
Yeah, track and skeet.
Because I remember your sister we brought the headphones for your sister. BMX, we traveled all over the place with you guys and supported you there. And those were some of our best times. And when we stopped that, I want to say it was just harder because she was getting older and it was more stuff that we had to bring around. But we did a lot, considering because we always adapted to stuff as we went. Were there times that you've ever felt embarrassed about your sister?
I wouldn't say embarrassed. I'm trying to think of how to explain it. Like, almost kind of misunderstood, if anything. Like, a lot of people didn't understand, you know, what she had, what she was going through, like what I had to deal with going through all that. You know, her and I'd say when we lived at the farm, I'd say till I got to high school, her and I were pretty close. Especially like when we used to ride the same bus, go to the same school. Like, I think that was nice because then my friends also got to like see her and everything. Like,
And then she would
Bobby and
always love
Adam
your
always,
friends when they would come over and be like, my boyfriend.
yeah, but Bobby and Adam like always understood, and like they got along with all of us. So there was, and it like, I don't know, definitely was never embarrassed. It just took a while for people to understand. I feel like, and like once they understand what she's going through, they're like, okay, cool,
Right.
like,
Let's see. Was there ever a time that you felt that you couldn't talk to either me or Dad? Or shall I say, did you ever feel like you didn't want to talk to us about a specific problem that was going on with you because you knew that we had so much to worry about and so much going on with your sister that you thought, oh, I don't want to bother them. They're already doing so much. I don't want to bother them. Did you ever feel a time?
Honestly, not that I can think of off the top of my head, because like a lot of things I ever did have problems with, I just went to Dad about, because I was already so close to him. It was just like easy to talk about.
And then he comes to Mommy when the real things, when the shit hits the fan, he comes to Mommy first.
No, like I remember when I was a little kid and Dad got me that dirt bike toy set, and I saw it in your freaking bedroom, and I was crying because I wanted it so bad. And he would come upstairs like, no, give me Mom. Because like I knew he'd be mad. I went in the bedroom and I saw it because he told me not to go in the bedroom. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't. But I do. But there have been times just in the past couple of years that you have come to me because you were you wanted to talk to me before you talked to Dad. So that kind of
when I dropped out.
Yeah, like that kind of
that was a big one.
Yeah, like that kind of makes makes me feel good. But no, like I told you, no matter what you do, everybody, COVID affected so many people on so many different levels, and it's still going on to this day. So when you came to me and, you were having a hard time with everything virtual and, your plan was to finish out and go into the Army, I would rather I'm glad you did what you did, because you didn't want to waste that other year and a half paying and going to school if it's not what you wanted to do. And, you just went in sooner is all. So don't ever feel, there's people that change their majors 5 million times. People change their minds all the time. It's nothing to be ashamed of or feel bad about. We're still proud of you no matter what you do, So let's see. All right, growing up, did you find it difficult to find people to connect with that were going through similar things as you? So did you have any friends that had siblings that had a disability?
One of the main ones I remember was Curtis. Curtis Cox, his brother Clinton had autism. And then I believe Steven had Asperger's, if I'm not mistaken.
And I also, in the near future, I would like to get a hold of Curtis and have you interview him and do a sibling interview too, because I think that would be great. Was it hard connecting with people?
I'd say no, just because of the fact with all of the groups Faith was a part of, I did find other siblings a lot. I'm trying to think, what was the family? I believe they're from Northeast. I can't remember their name. They came down to the farm a couple times. We used to ride and stuff. I can't remember their name. It's going to drive me nuts. But
it'll come to you.
There was even I'm trying to think.
All right, let me ask you this. So do you feel like there should be more sibling support groups, if you will? Because really, they're really
there's not much.
There's really nothing to support the siblings on what they're going through, or to really connect you with other siblings, except for your mutual friends. I would like to see more support groups out there for siblings. I think that would be really good. What concerns, if any, do you have for Faith's future?
I've definitely seen she's not. I'd say within the last couple of years, especially since we moved to the house right now, she doesn't really do a whole lot throughout the day. A lot of times she'll just sit and watch Netflix, and like I feel like her social skills have gone down. She's not as sharp as she used to be, like, especially like last time I was home, we went through and watched YouTube videos from when we were younger. I could see like a lot of her spark and drive has disappeared. Like, my biggest concern is her not trying to put any effort towards getting better, getting stronger, and it's going to affect the way she's going to be when she gets older, you know.
Yeah. And
that could potentially mess with a person's lifespan too. Like,
yeah.
And it's not like she doesn't have the opportunities to. She has all of the things she could use at home: the treadmill, the vibrating table, all that. She still has all the things. It's just we have the chair to get her downstairs. It's just her finding that motivation again, I think.
Yeah, and I
like when what was when Liv was in from was it Hungary, I think. You know, she was taking 15 steps on her own. She just has to get back to doing those things every day and getting that confidence back. I think another big thing is confidence with her.
Right.
Like, mentally, she's still smart and very intelligent, but she's just not, like, I don't know, she's not as, I guess you could say, witty as she used to be.
Witty. Well, I think a lot of it has to do is hormones and growing up. I think that it was hard because it got harder as she got older. She lost a lot of her friends when we moved. It was hard for her to gain new friends here. And then, you know, where we used to live, she used to go to Natalie. She used to go here. She used to go there. It's harder to make friends. And then with COVID, where do you go? You know, I mean, she was doing really well when we were going to church. Everything was open up. And then really, I think the decline was when she had her major surgery, because that is when she started getting the social anxiety. So that's a huge issue. The other issue is with her going to the Maryland School for the Blind, because the ride is so long, having to get up at 5:10 every morning to catch the bus at 6:10 and not getting home until 5 o'clock at night. You know, she wasn't getting enough sleep. I mean, by the time you eat, shower, we have a chiropractor once a week. She has therapeutic horseback riding once a week. Her occupational therapist comes once a week from Maryland School from the Blind. So there really doesn't give a lot of opportunity during the day for her to really get down there and do her exercises, because she's just so wiped out. And now that she has the diagnosis of dysautonomia, and what helps that best, and for those that don't know what dysautonomia is, again, it's an umbrella of symptoms. She's been having numbness in her legs. She's feeling dizzy, nauseous, sometimes ringing in the ears. Has edema with the legs swelling and pitting. She has a whole bunch of an array of different things going on right now. But the main thing that really helps with that is sleep, nutrition, and exercise. So we're working right now on getting it to where she will be able to get driven to school and picked up from school. So that way she can get that extra sleep in the morning instead of taking the bus, and she'll be home earlier. So then she can get downstairs and she can get on a routine, a weekly routine. So we are working on that. I think I'm more worried about, I think it'll get better with that. I think that we really need to work on the social aspect. Because you're right. I mean, she'll sit there, you know, if I'm like cleaning or doing stuff during the day, what is she doing? She's sitting there on Netflix. Well, what else is she going to do? She has been actually started writing different books. She's been doing that a lot lately too. So, but you're right. Back when Liv was here, she was, we talked a little bit about that when we were doing her interview. But basically when she got that big dose of Botox is where it changed everything. And then that killed her balance, because it numbed the muscles that she just built up, and it took that tone away. So when people with cerebral palsy, spastic cerebral palsy, when they get Botox, it takes that spasticity out. And it kind of tones down the tone. And the tone is what she actually relied on. She's not, as I say, she's not atypical. So that was really disheartening to see how hard she worked and how far she come. And then boom, it's almost like she was back to square one again, having to work all over again, if you will. What aspects of being a sibling of someone with a disability do you enjoy most? What's been the most rewarding part of having your sister as a sister?
Definitely seeing like where she has came like from the beginning, and a lot of it too is like the different relationships we've formed with people and like things we've gotten to do. Like a lot of people are like, oh, like would you look back and wish your sister would have been normal? And like it's so like nowadays, like is normal even normal? Like, and
amen.
I can't look back. I can't like looking back and having the experiences we did as a family and like how things have been, like if I changed it, like who would I be today? Who would we be today? Like would our family even still be together? Like I don't know. There's like no way I'd change things for how they were.
Yeah.
Like, yes, would it be easier on her? Maybe, but you don't know that. It's just like the whole thing with my best friend passing away. Like if he was still alive, like I wouldn't be who I am today. Like things happen for a reason. God has that plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah. And speaking of God, what has God taught you through your sibling with special needs?
I definitely say like I've been shown how hard like people can have it in life and not to take things for advantage. Like every day is a gift and you have to just do what you can with it. Yeah. Because you don't know when that next day is going to end.
Yep. And it's so hard because you don't even realize how far you have come, you know, from when you were born, because there were so many times where they didn't think that you were going to make it. You know, there was times where you stopped breathing and I had to give you mouth to mouth. You know, you had more of the life and death, scariness piece of it. Whereas Faith, we knew it was, you know, it's going to be lifelong. You know, you both have overcome so much. What do you wish you could tell others, but don't usually get a chance to? And second part of that question would be, and what advice would you give to any siblings that are just learning that their sister or brother has a disability? So basically, what advice would you give others? You know, what do you wish you could tell others that you haven't had a chance to?
I'd say with others, like, as in like people without siblings with disabilities, like, I'd say don't judge a book by a cover, because a lot of people will see a person in a wheelchair, see a person that has autism, this and everything, maybe nonverbal, and they're like, oh, well, why am I going to be friends with them? Why am I going to be like, give this person a chance or that person a chance? They don't understand, like, still a lot of times mentally they're the same as us. You know, I've had, as for like Clinton, you know, you'd think he's mad at the world, mad at you, but you can look him in the eyes and you can see that he's just joking around or he's laughing. Like, they just want to have the same opportunities like that we have. And there's no reason they should. You know, just because you're wheelchair bound doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to work for this company, or, you know, like, I understand, like, some jobs, yes, like, it's not going to happen, but, you know, they should be given an equal and fair chance.
Yep. Okay. And then one of the last things I wanted to talk about was your word. So anybody who is a guest on the show, I'm going to be gifting them a token, either a bracelet, a keychain, with a meaningful word on it. I also talked about it in when I interviewed your sister about how I started it back in 2019. And I hand stamp each letter, I ink it, put it on a bracelet or a keychain. And just how our words are powerful. They can inspire us to do great things. They can remind us of our importance, or simply remind us just to breathe and live in that moment, you know. It's a powerful way to have a daily reminder. Thinking back, if you could choose one word, maybe something that, you know, that has helped you get through your tough times, or maybe what would it be?
It's not really one word, it's two.
Mm-hmm.
And I got it from an article and from a buddy actually through Basic, and it's kind of stuck with me since then. And it makes a lot of sense. It's called Die Living. And basically, the way I look at it is, live that day-to-day life, like take the risks, do what you want to do, and like live your life to the fullest, because you don't know what day you have next. Like, my dream is to not stay regular Army. I'm trying to go to a selection process for either Special Forces or Special Operations. I just want to see how far I can push myself in life. And you don't know where you're going to get until you push yourself,
Mm-hmm.
And like another thing that you can look at with Die Living is like, push through those tough times. Like, you're not going to die. You're going to keep living, and just keep going.
I like that.
It's kind of the same as the word like perseverance almost. You can also relate it to that.
Okay.
Like every wall you hit, either break through it or get over it. Like, don't let anything hold you back.
I like it. Is there anything else that you want to talk about or share with them before we wrap it up?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head at the moment.
Well, this isn't the first or last time that you have met JD now. He's going to be doing some future interviews with other siblings. Even though he's in Colorado, he might not have the brightest lighting or the best sound. It's about the content.
Send me some LED bars. Send me some LED bars. We can fix the lighting.
You're so funny. So it really is, a family effort here with the Guilbault girls. As we say, it's the Guilbault girls, but you're always going to get the Guilbault boys with the Guilbault girls. Because it takes a village, it takes your whole family, it takes a village. And we just thank you all for being a part of our village. If you would like to be a guest on the show, or somebody that would like to join us, please have them reach out to us. Comment below. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, different podcasts, all at Guilbault Girls. Email is guilbaultgirls@gmail.com. So for now, I love you, buddy. I can't wait to see you soon. Thank you for hopping on, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you for joining us as we spread awareness through our personal stories and the many resources shared. You can help us by joining our village simply by sharing our show to the masses. If you would like to support the Guilbault Girls on another level, click on the link in the show notes to make a donation in any amount. Add your address and you'll receive a hand-stamped token with the word village on it in appreciation. Be sure to subscribe to our Guilbault Girls podcast and YouTube show, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Guilbault Girls. Till next time.